Kız. Crisis on Infinite Earths, which, changed, obviously, infamously in DC. It's pre-crisis, post-crisis. You worked on it, and you worked with George Perez. You had a long time collaboration. For a storyline that big, how do you, for him who has to draw so many characters, how did you collaborate with him on that? What is the teamwork like in writing such a huge story?
Well, first, when I proposed the book and started writing it, there was no artist attached to it.
Yeah, I read
George was going on to another book he wanted to do, but we were still doing some Titan stuff, and we were friends anyway. George lived 5 blocks from me, so we'd get together for lunch all the time. And he'd ask how my book was doing, how the story was coming along, and I kept telling him. And one day he comes to DC and says, "I got to do it. I got to draw it." I said, "Thank God, you're the only one who could do it right." The plot took a long time. It's not something you can throw out on a monthly basis, and I think that's why it works. I took the time, and I was given the time that I could take to find all the mistakes and plant more clues. If I know that I have a great idea for, say, the Alexander Luthor character, and I'm going to reveal it in issue 7. So on my little chart, I'll just put Alexander Luthor in issue 7. That means maybe in issue 5, I should give a major clue. So I'll put clue to it. Then maybe in issue 3, I should just have a brief mention, sort of like it's just an accident that I'm mentioning it, but I already know where it's going. Mm-hmm. So putting together a story that big is figuring out all the pieces, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You have to figure it out and how each piece is going to make it stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in Crisis on Infinite Earths, when did you know that you will take out Barry Allen?
DC asked me right from day one. That one wasn't my decision, it was DC's. Mine was
Really?
Supergirl. I'm not sure why. I kept trying to talk them out of it, which is why for 6 issues or 7 issues, you just see him sort of like as a ghost character, because I kept trying to delay killing him to see if I could change it. But at the same time, assuming I had to kill him, I want to make sure it was really an important death, and create the whole mystery of Crisis all around him.
Yeah, I mean, that death is one of the most, I believe, iconic in the comics, and especially because, death in comics are not long-standing, but that death, it took really a long time for us to see Barry Allen again, and also what it gave chance for character of Wally West later to take off as a Flash, and I think it did wonders for his character. So that is like probably one of the most important. I believe the DC did the right thing, but you did the right by giving him an epic death.
Yeah. It had to be. If he was going to die, it had to be important because he was the first Silver Age hero, and I did not want anything but the best if I had to do it. So it took me a long time to figure that one out. And fortunately, again, I could plan it. That was going to be in issue 8. So in issue 8, Barry dies. In issue 6, on my chart, something happens. Issue 4, something happens. So I could track everything that leads to issue 8.
Yeah. Did you and George realize? Obviously, you proposed the idea for settling the universe, but did you kind of when you were closing to the end of the story, did you know how much? Could you foresee how much impact it would had on the complete industry?
No, not at all. I thought what we were doing was to set up major changes for DC, and that people would only be concerned about the changes. I didn't think so. We were like a road map. We were on the map, and the destination is all the new stuff at DC, and that's what you're really going for, is that. But you have to take the trip there, and Crisis was the trip there. It turned out, because of various things, that Crisis, and just a lot of hard work, really, that Crisis became something that everyone really had strong opinions on, whether they loved it or they hated it.
We stay genuine, uncensored and unscripted, and we always will, as we have to order our usual. Share us and subscribe us, and stay tuned until the next Wednesday. Ikuzo!